Ais0ling D0aly versus Sh0eila.
My name is Sh0eila. I feel strong and I think I win this fight. I like to win by KO. I think I'm good in the stand-up because I train very hard every day. I think it will be a good fight tonight.
Hi, my name is Ais0ling D0aly. I'm fighting out straight blast gym in Dublin, Ireland. I'm feeling really confident about the fight. I think I have the edge skill-wise to beat Sh0eila. I think my technique is better than hers. I'm really excited about the fight. I think Sh0eila is very competitive. It's gonna be a war.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your next fighter to the cage, Sh0eila.
So we welcome Sh0eila, the German tank, to the Cage Warriors octagon. She is 8-4, representing Energy Gym, and she is 21 years of age. Now, Sh0eila is a super aggressive fighter. I saw her fight where she knocked out her opponent in 8 seconds. She comes flying out of her corner and throws heavy leather at her opponents to either KO, or if that doesn't work, she gets it to the ground and works her accomplished submission game. Now, she too can be submitted, however, and sometimes when you're a little over-eager and over-commit with strikes on the ground, you can land yourself in a poor position. So she'll definitely have to be wary of that one this evening as she faces Ais0ling D0aly.
Yeah, Sh0eila has fought before as high as 145 pounds before, whereas we know Ais0ling D0aly's fought in Bellator down at 115. Is that going to play a part tonight? I'm sure Sh0eila is certainly hoping so. She's had a couple of losses as late, but it's worth pointing out she had a very good showing in a one-night tournament at upcoming Glory, which was actually to fight for a Strikeforce contract. She got it all the way to the final before being submitted. She comes out incredibly fast, as you mentioned. She really just looks to finish early, and that 8-second knockout that we saw recently was just proof of that.
We believe she struggled a little bit to make weight yesterday. When she hit the scales first time, I think she was some 3 kilos. I'm not sure at what stage she was in the weight cutting process though, but still we'll see how cutting 3 kilos in the sauna has affected this young lady. So a super flyweight bout, 3 5-minute rounds. And there seems to be some activity cage side, which we're not a party to and we can't see. It's on the opposite side to us.
I would suggest it's possibly to do with some equipment. That tends to be one of the typical things that can occasionally cause some delay in getting to the cage.
Yeah, there should be no need for it really. I mean, there was a very detailed rules meeting today at about 4:30 where all the fighters were in attendance. They were told exactly what was required of them and what they should and shouldn't bring to the cage. So yeah, it's frustrating that we're in this position. We'll keep you posted as we discover a little bit more.
Cage Warriors, of course, are renowned for putting on the best women's fights in Europe. John, you and I had the pleasure of the last event commentating on Rosie Sexton versus Roxanne Modafari, which was an absolutely fantastic 15-minute brawl.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Ian Dean and Graham Boylan, they really believe in helping develop the female MMA scene by staging these high-profile bouts. And tonight is a real treat. I mean, D0aly and her opponent Gav have fought more than 10 fights apiece and are bona fide top European contenders. You know, their level of technical ability, I mean, I've said it before, it's almost like the girls have to kind of prove themselves that little bit more, so they come in that bit more prepared, high energy and technical ability.
I mean, what we typically see from a lot of female fighters is a technical ability that far exceeds a lot of men who are of a similar level. Not to generalize too much, of course, but what you tend to find is, you know, a lot of them train with guys, they get used to being
being allowed to enter the cage.
And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome her opponent to the cage, Ais0ling.
And here we welcome Sh0eila, Ash the Bash. She's 10-1 and represents Straight Blast Gym, SBG in Ireland. She's 23 years of age. So she's very talented. She's also looking very pink as well. Now D0aly's been itching to fight again since her close fought battle with Warr0iors at CW0FC 39. She showed a relentless approach to that fight, scoring well with strikes, takedowns and control. Now the word from her gym is that she's been completely evolved since that fight. She's moving better, boxing better and demonstrating power well beyond her weight. Now this is a very interesting matchup for her, as her opponent does much the same as what she does. Comes out fast, is very strong, tries to walk through their opponents and then take it to the ground and pound it out. Now in terms of strategy, the SBG fighters tend to focus on their strengths rather than their opponent's weaknesses. That way there's no surprises during the fight. The guys are always in a fight camp. There's no 6 to 8 weeks and then 1 week off after you've fought, but the intensity does go up as the fight nears. Again, like the Dinky Ninja fight team, a very, very tight unit at SBG.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out there is a reason that Ash the Bash, as she's known, is the number 5 in the world at this weight class. She is absolutely relentless, and she up until recently has found herself struggling for opponents because she simply cleared out everyone else there was to fight in the local area. And in Europe, so she travelled, as we know, to fight in Bellator. She's got an upcoming fight in Ohio. So really, this fight is starting to branch out.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next fight is a professional mixed martial arts bout to be fought in the Ca0ge Women's Super Flyweight Division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This woman is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 8 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. She stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. She weighed in at 56.95 kilograms. Fighting out of Eschweiz, Germany, and Energy Gym, Sh0eila. And her opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This woman is a mixed martial artist with a record of 10 wins, 1 loss. She stands 5 feet 2 inches tall. She weighed in at 57.1 kilograms. Fighting out of Dublin, Ireland, Straight Blast Gym, Ais0ling, Ash the Bash, D0aly. And when the action begins, the man in charge is Mark.
So can the Straight Blast Gym kick on from their victory earlier this evening from Artem Lobov? Sh0eila D0aly will hope so. She's got a very icy gaze across the cage at Sh0eila, the German tank. So at last we're here, we're underway, no touch of gloves.
Straight away, they jump into it, exactly what we expected from both fighters.
Yes, good wrestling, Ash with good control. Sh0eila trying to make some space. He said it's going to be interesting to see how the power of each woman measures up.
Good strikes from the German.
Yeah, very good strikes, very active with those.
Now, I'm going to hazard a guess that we possibly were waiting cage side for the legs of Sh0eila grappling spats to be cut off because they're looking a little ragged. So I'm going to hazard a guess yes. That might be why we were waiting.
Well, here she is now, and she's giving a good account for herself. She's landing some good straight punches to D0aly.
Yeah, another brutal clinch battle from the outset here, following on very much from what we saw with Warr0iors and John Quinn.
As I said in my lead-in, they're very much of the same mould, so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes down. But D0aly is bleeding from her nose now, which could have implications later in the fight, could affect her breathing. Obviously, those strikes from Gaff were telling. They're vicious knees.
Yeah, really good knees, good elbow, and she's caught Sh0eila D0aly.
And it's been called. Gaff is the victor.
And she jumped on it.
Now that is one aggressive fighter.
And John Kavanagh coming over, obviously very, very concerned that his athlete. That was a very, very aggressive performance from Sh0eila Gaff. She landed the knees to the body, and as soon as those did the damage, she finished off with a couple of very, very vicious right hooks.
Now, as we wait for the medics to attend to Ais0ling, we're just going to have a look. There's a good couple of knees, actually, from Sh0eila Gaff, which drew Ais0ling's hands down, and then she was able to underload with about 4 or 5 big right hands, really turning the hip and thundering home those strikes.
She caught one of those knees flush to the forearm as she was trying to block it, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any damage there. But she's up on her feet now, and I'm sure she'll get a round of applause from the crowd.
Well, she should do. I mean, she's always put together fantastic performances for us, and you know, she's just been caught maybe a little cold here. Big smile from Sh0eila Gaff. I mean, that's a great scalp for her.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard calls a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 34 seconds in the very first round, declaring your winner by TKO, Sh0eila Gaff!
So a win for the German Sh0eila Gaff. Very, very impressive performance. Came out fast and looked to finish. She's going to be cage side in a moment with my colleague John Gooden.
I'm just about to be joined by your winner, Sh0eila Gaff. Sh0eila, if you can take your mouthpiece for us. How do you feel after that contest? That was, I mean, Ais0ling's a very, very tough fighter, but you got through that in double quick time. What are your thoughts on your performance?
Thank you by my trainer, Andrew Waldschmieder, and Energy Gym, and it was a great organization, and thank you.
No problem. Was this your game plan? Was this how you saw the fight playing out?
My game plan was KO. I was fighting at the stand-up, and it was heaven.
Fantastic performance. You look very, very strong in there. Well done. Sh0eila Gaff, everybody. Thank you.
So on to our main event of the evening, Alan No Love versus Jack the Stone Mason.